All right, so you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing in my silhouette the starting of something. That's what I'm seeing. I'm looking at those back legs, and you know what? I think those back legs need to de-evolve. But I think what needs to happen first is I need a flat tail. So I'm just going to drag down once, then I'm going to hit the 1 key to repeat my last stroke, or not. Seems like all my shortcuts are a little messed up, except for my brush ones. Let's remesh. Let's see how high up we are. It's a decent start. Let's go down to the underside of the tail and do the same thing. And you want to be thinking about that. I mean, what story are you telling? You know, I mean, I started with like, okay, maybe I feel like these back legs should be a little bit more squat and flat, and thinking about the eel, thinking about just like contrast, right? Well, the relationship of these hind legs to these front legs. Well, these front legs are really pushed up, you know. So I want those to really stand out. And I feel like right now these are too large and are competing with this and not calling enough attention to this form to make it interesting. So I'm going to scale down those legs. Soften up that mask. Let's just bring that down. All right, we are coming up on 12:40, you guys. And wherever we leave it off today, I'll be picking it up on the next class. And you are welcome to take it as far as you want. You know, I'm gonna backpedal a little bit. I was gonna say you're welcome to take it as far as you like, but that's not necessarily true. I don't want you getting too lost in the woods. I'm going to continue this down. I'm really just starting to crack into my silhouette, right? Now, for hands or for feet, however you look at it, we'll look at it as two sets of feet. You can start with either, you can build it out with a sphere and pull out the fingers, and I feel like that is a waste of time a bit because I just want to get the structure of a hand, right? I'm going to jump over to, let's see, the IMM Tune is a good one. Let's go ahead and start with that. And this is Mr. Louis Tucci's brush. We developed, we actually, Solomon Blair over Pixelogic, Louis Tucci when he was at Pixelogic, he just went over to 3D Systems. We actually all got our brushes inside of ZBrush. There's my dragon brush in there, and that was 4R5, I believe. And just in case anybody was asking, or anybody's going to ask, I did not create the Damien Standard brush. That was an artist by the name of Damien Canderla. Although I've been often told to just say, yes, I created the Damien Standard brush. Yes, that was me. Because I keep on getting asked. You were talking about hitting the V key, right, to start reading the silhouette. I'll do you one better. Let's go ahead and switch materials. If you're really focusing on silhouette, you want to use outline or outline thin. Outline thin gives you clear, just pure, like nearly pure silhouette, right? You want to see how your contours are leading in from your silhouette. You want to switch over to outline, the regular outline shader, and that'll start to tell you a little bit better story about where your design is going. And even though I don't have much sorted out in my sculpt, I can start to see the inklings of some form in there, some hint at form, right? But right now he's too natural, and I'm definitely going to have to monster him up a little bit and make him feel a little bit nuttier and a little bit more like he exists inside of a game. Let's go back here, and after seeing that, I definitely want to first, before I even insert hands or feet onto this guy, I want to settle him in so he's flat on the ground. Right now his back end is raised. And little things like that can really screw you up. I mean, you want to make sure that, you know, everything is settled in, that he feels like he's resting somewhere. And for this, I will turn on the grid, even though he's much, much bigger than the grid. We'll fix that in a bit when we get further along. So even though I'm going to break his back right now, I took perspective off, and I'm just going to ballpark where his feet are going to sit. All right. Now that I've done that, move brush to fix the horrible thing that I did to my creature. All right, so now I want to build his upper body. I want to be careful. I don't want to lose that sort of cylindrical feel. Or like a skink. If you guys are familiar with a skink, it's a type of lizard. All right, and now let's go ahead and switch over to that toon brush I was going to use a moment ago. Hit the M key to bring up all the meshes here, and let's take a look at our feet. And let's take a look at his feet. All right, so I like this a lot. And let's see if we have that option in here. If not, I'll make it an option. So I'm actually going to go ahead and use this hand. And I'm going to face his hands inward. And perhaps this is a little bit of kit bashing, but eventually these hands are not going to resemble the mesh, and I'd say if it gets you there faster, as long as you are not plagiarizing, I'd say use that tool. Let's bring that up and rotate them flat. That little bit of munchiness, I don't mind. Now let's go to the back feet. And if the back feet are a little bit de-evolved, I'm going to go ahead and switch up the number of digits. Keep on hitting the brush palette key. Let's hit the M key. There we go. And let's go with something really de-evolved. Let's try this two-toe, or at least de-evolved feeling. I don't have his story yet, but I will soon enough. Let's wrangle these feet into place. You know, that is one issue with the insert multi-mesh brushes, is that you never know what you're going to get sometimes. They may be off kilter, and the transpose line doesn't line up right away. I'll rotate these forward. There we go. And you know, just because you may not use them a whole lot, I'm going to rotate him out just a little bit. Sort of waddles on him, drags him behind him. Let's turn back on our perspective. Well, you can always, when we'll have access to today's recorded videos, Lewis, when do you think the video from today will be up?
So typically we say within 48 hours, but we'll probably have it up by the end of today.
Awesome.
We just like to give ourselves a little padding in case there's any issues with the recording.
There you go, Claude. And yeah, I mean, I want to leave room for happy accidents, and we'll see what happens. All right, let's remesh those in. Let's make sure I didn't have massive loss of digits. Let's break the wrist, and let's set the ankle. All right, finally, let's go ahead and merge this head down. I don't think I need to keep it separate anymore. So let's merge that down. And let's see, for the next 14 minutes, I will be answering your questions and just straight sculpting to get this guy out because I am under a tight deadline too. By Friday, I want to have everything in a good spot so we can get some fantastic work and I can get some fantastic work out for you. So if you have questions, ask away. Questions about your project. Right now I'm just looking at lines across the surface. I'm fairly happy with the silhouette except for this little dip. Makes him feel like he has too much of a neck. A little skin fold coming in here. Let's develop this volume here. And I don't know if he's evolved enough to have one, but there should be a bone that comes back a little bit like that. It's found in a lot of amphibians, birds, and lizards. Muscle that's filling in here. I relate this back to the infraspinatus, the teres minor and the teres major, sitting inside the scapula. Let's give him a floating clavicle. What I'm trying to set myself up for next class is a great jumping off point so that I can really just remesh, go to town, and generate my maps. I'm trying to answer the big questions. Let's give him gecko-like fingers. I have to reposition nose. Let's go to the back and do the same thing. And then there was that thing that I liked in this guy, right? I liked those skin folds. I'm going to go ahead and start incorporating that into some of my primary shapes, primary forms. Even start to express some of the thickness in some major skin folds, the thickness of that skin. Or I should say the thickness of the tissue. You got it, Manuel. I'll check that YouTube link out. I love me some geckos. All right, and now I'm going to start in the last 10 minutes of this sculpt, last 10 minutes of our class together. I'm going to start breaking from the norm a little bit more. So looking at my silhouette, if I look at some shapes that are evolving here, and what I really want to say with this, I want this to widen out. And lean out. Lean limbs. And maybe we got some ribs coming in here. And I kind of like introducing sort of some human characteristics in the anatomy. There's something eerie about a creature that has human anatomy. I think it unsettles us, reminds us of deformations, naturally occurring deformations, which many people are uneasy with. But I like the human element to a creature as well. Something that's not quite 100% animal. There's some remnants of hominid in there. Since I'm pretty sure that's where I want my head set, I'm going to go ahead and drop a sphere in right now. And I'm going to go ahead and set my eyes. Because next class, that's where I'll be starting. Would hit the 1 key to repeat this, but it's not working currently. And I don't want to noodle around in preferences to fix it at the moment. You're short on time. Well, we got 7 minutes left. Any questions about what you need to do over the next couple days? Or what you want to do? There we go. Let's mirror that over. What is the homework assignment? What time and what date is the next class? You arrived late. Claude, the next class will be starting at 11 on Friday. The homework assignment, well, you're going to need to go through today's session, but essentially you'll want to get a creature up to at least where I'm at. I have no problems with taking it a little bit further, but at least up to this, where you have the silhouette established and you're starting to think about your secondary forms, and you're starting to tell a story with your creature. This first week we're focusing on something relatively simple. I call it a nooblodon. It's noob fodder. So I'd say by next class, you should be there. But we're not going to have a crit session until Monday. So actually you'll have from now until Sunday to work on your creature, and then on Monday I'll look at your post. I'd say post up your stuff by very early Monday morning or late Sunday night, and definitely post up your reference sheets so I could see where you're at and possibly help direct you and give you advice. But yeah, that's exactly where we're at. Does that answer your question, Claude? Cool. All right. I've been building up, and I think now it's time to start subtracting. Let's turn off that hideous grid. Got our eyes in place. And he needs a pot belly. Something isn't quite right here yet, but I'm sure I'll find it. Maybe his nose needs to be a little bit more pointy and a little less flat. Maybe that wattle needs to be a little bit longer. And maybe he needs a little bit a little bit inkling of a mandible. All right, well, that is a start. We have 4 minutes left, and I just want to say I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what you guys do. You know, I'm leading you along a path of destruction. No, I'm just kidding. A path of success, and I want to see some beautiful work from you guys. So I'm really excited to see what you guys do over the next few days. And thank you for being here.